Good morning, Vishal.
Good morning, Nick. How are you?
I'm good, very good. How are you?
Good, very good, very good. Thank you.
Vishal, first of all, appreciate your time and your will to leave a testimonial about your experience.
More than happy to, more than happy to.
The introduction to yourself, name, surname, what you do, where you work.
Love.
I leave it to you, man.
Thank you, Nick. So yeah, my name is Vishal Madhani. I run a health clinic called West One Health. We were established on Harley Street back in 2003, and we've kind of progressing and building the business since. We're a team of 9 clinicians now, and we treat any patient with any physical issues, from physio to osteopathy to acupuncture, rehab, Pilates. So we have quite a busy little clinic in London.
That's good. I can confirm it's pretty busy. Yeah, it's not easy to treat.
Thank you, thank you.
And so the interaction we have had was oriented to your employees.
Yeah.
Would you share something about your team?
Yeah, definitely. And I think when I met you, it was I always heard an expression that people's thoughts change their behaviors and behaviors change their actions. And emotional intelligence looks at that right at the start, I guess. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? And that now triggers into thoughts, behaviors. So emotions is the start of that cycle, I guess. And using emotional intelligence in the team, we deal with people. The team are people, and we deal with people. Well, let me rephrase that. We don't deal with people, we deal with patients. As a profession, we deal with patients, and patients are seeking our advice, seeking some help, some support. So emotional intelligence is vital, I guess, from me as a clinician delivering to my patient, and within the team. We deal with team members, and we need emotion to connect and interact with team members.
I do remember, Vishal, in a conversation we've had months ago. You enlightened me about the dimensions of pain, and there's
Yes.
the physical, the psychological, and the emotion.
Yeah, good point. And as a physio, initially, when we're trained to deal with physical pain. The training touches on emotional and psychological, but very, very briefly. But everything I know and everything I've learned is about physical pain. So when you came on board and when we had our training, it kind of solidified that pain is 3-dimensional, pain is emotional. And many times our patients have been in more pain when they're sad or when they're upset or when they're stressed, and pain increases. And that's emotional pain. And how to talk about it, manage it, address it, even be aware of it myself is very important. Very important.
To what degree do you believe professionally that for the patient feeling emotionally well, it contributes to the whole healing process?
Massively. The success of the patient is huge. Emotion is a huge part of what we do. Straight away, when a patient comes into our clinic, we have to make them feel comfortable and psychologically comfortable as well. A nice environment, the way it looks, the way it smells, the way the reception greets a patient. And if they're in pain, their emotion side is creating pain, the psychology is creating pain, and then the physical is creating pain. And as much as we can influence all three of them, it's gonna prove hugely successful for the patient. So yes, to answer that question, emotional intelligence is huge in the success of getting somebody better.
Thank you, Vishal. I really love your approach to the healing process on diverse dimensions. Yeah, it's like a multidimensional approach in order for the
Definitely.
client to feel good from the very first step to get
That's
healed.
it. And it helps the connection, the rapport between clinician and patient as well.
So,
If the patient, if there's no emotional connection, if that patient can't open up emotionally to the clinician, then my job is harder, or even unsuccessful in getting them better. So it's a two-way, being in touch with that emotion from my side and the patient side, for the success of their treatment. It's very important.
great point. And I deeply agree about the environment as well when you where you host your clients. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is critical.
Yeah. Do they feel at peace? Do they feel calm? Um, it's important.
So let's talk about the proper activity
Yeah.
we did together.
Yeah.
So I do remember the first chat we had. You told me I'm doing a training day for the employees.
Yes.
How
Yes.
we can integrate emotional intelligence. And I
Definitely.
do remember we had a chat like the initial chat, and I proposed the role of twine activity.
Yeah.
I'll leave it to you. Say something
Yeah.
to the ones
So
watching about this
yeah.
activity and how was and the reaction of the employees as well.
Definitely. And when you introduced that kind of practice to me, this is even before we started, even I was getting a little bit nervous, thinking, okay, how is the team going to react? Are they going to be open to it? Are they going to be welcoming to it? Because we offer different training within our team, but never emotional intelligence. Despite us initially saying that emotional intelligence is a vital part of our job, I've never introduced it within the team. So to help now team dynamics. So I was a little bit nervous. I don't know how people react. If somebody asks me that, I'll be a little bit nervous as well, to open up and to express those emotions. But the practice was great. The topic was great when we passed a roll of twine across the room, around the room, and the words "I appreciate this" from that person. And I remember I was next to Lucia, and it was, "I appreciate your kind of your undoubtful work ethic, or her work ethic." And it was really good to see the team's reaction, and they opened up so well to it. They took it on board, some easier than others, but we went around the room, and it just created a nice warm bond in the room, and with the team. And it was great. I loved it.
That's good. How would you say about their reaction, not during the meeting, but the day after, or the week after? Did you
Yeah,
see
yeah, yeah,
any
yeah.
changes?
Definitely. So within that day, we had a variety of different training sessions, and the one thing that kept coming back up and kept kind of discussing between us was the emotional intelligence side. Um, Looking at the positives that we gave, but also the role of time went round again, and the second comment was, um, it was, "I feel you would be a better person if." So looking at that emotional, like looking at criticism, I guess, or looking at improvement, you can say, not in criticism, improvement. And even that was brought up again a week later, but in a funny way, in a nice way. And it brought humor, which is an emotion, to the team. When something was, I guess, I can't remember what Sangi said to me. I think it was becoming more, I don't show anger, I think it was, or angry, or in work. And when we discussed it afterwards, it was there's no negatives there. It was just talking about all the positives, which was great.
That's good, very good. And you mentioned a comment might sound like a critic if you don't build the right emotionally safe or psychologically safe environment.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
might take it the wrong way, or they might feel a critic rather than a constructive feedback.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
when you build,
definitely.
when you help the team to build that bond, that cohesion, so even the critics are not critics anymore, but now a colleague is helping me to do better for myself, for the team, for the clinic. And I mean, that's
Yeah.
how a team get together and get more efficient as well.
And it's understanding the true definition of a team. A team work together. They push together. They go through. They climb mountains together. They go down mountains together. They have peaks and troughs. But that connection of emotion solidifies the team, for sure, for sure. Closer working team. It allowed me to stop and analyze myself as well, of how my emotions projected to the team. Am I delivering emotions in my meeting? If we have a one-to-one performance review, the emotion that we're delivering, and if we work with emotions, performance is increased massively.
I mean, carry on this point. We did together as well the personal inner strength profile.
Yes. Yes.
And I mean, for the ones that never heard about this personality test, is like a chart of 24 strengths. So that the person, the candidate, is able to understand and realize which ones are the top ones and use them efficiently, and which ones as well are the bottom ones, and to realize if they are maybe creating an obstacle. So I remember your top ones. The question is, this personality test helped you to behave in a more strategic way when, as you were saying, delivering your speeches, delivering your trainings?
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad you mentioned that. It was a month later where we had another team meeting. And I told everyone to just bring their results again. And we again openly discussed it a month later. And what you introduced us to is when we had the feedback of, I feel you'll be a better person if, and we use our kind of top emotions to improve on that. We went through that again. So using our top 5 stronger emotions to help with a troublesome patient, or to help with an issue that we had that month at work. And it was great to have that on paper, my top 5 emotions, and everyone, actually, not just me, the whole team, to have that on paper is great. It allows you to see things in a different way. I can't remember, I think you said it or somebody said it, it was being conscious of the unconscious. And sometimes emotions just happen. My top 5 emotions, great, they just happen. But my bottom 5 emotions might not be as strong, but I'm still unconscious of them and not really addressing them. So just to have that on paper, I'm conscious now of top 5, bottom 5, and how can I improve on that? How can I make myself a better person? How can the team be better?